So I am a Christian psychologist, and so I was given an assignment to bring application to the word, because I see people in my office each day, and I see the alignment of the scriptures, and I see the problems, and I see how we struggle. And so today, if you allow me, I want to be able to weave in psychology into the word and know that the word created all things. God is called the counselor. Jesus was called a counselor to counsel. So I appreciate you for having me in your house this morning. How many of you like whodunit murder mysteries? Yeah. See, I like whodunit murder mysteries because I'm always thinking about what I would do if I were in the movie. If that was me, what I would do. So I'm always thinking about how stupid the characters are in the whodunit murder mysteries. So I want to give you one. So imagine it's midnight, and there's a knock on the door. And you go to the door and you look in the peephole, security camera for those of y'all who have a lot of money, the Nest, whatever. And you see a woman in a red dress, cinch-inch heels, pearls, and she's just your flavor. Imagine her saying, "Can I come in? I have a delivery." And you see that she has flowers in her hand. She comes in. She says, "You know what? I need to set these flowers right by your bed. I need to set them right by the bed, and I need you to read the card." You read the card, and it says, "These are the flowers for your funeral." And she shoots you, pow, pow. One in the back, one in the heart. I know y'all saying, what kind of sermon is this? That's what y'all get for inviting a psychologist in. I have a question for you. Who killed you? Option A, the woman in the red dress, or option B, your mind? All right. Now, practically, let's look at each one. Practically, option A, the woman in the red dress did kill you. Practically, if we're looking at it from police standpoint, the woman in the red dress is the perpetrator. But if we look at option B, let's look at your mind. Now, if you're like me, you rewind back in the DVD of the movie, you start thinking, that was kind of stupid what they did. They would never kill me that way. All right, number one, let's look at it. Who brings flowers at midnight? That's the first thing. The second thing is, what delivery woman wears a red dress and 6-inch heels? And then 3, why do you need to set the flowers in my bedroom? This is not adding up. And then why do I need to read the card while you're here? Now, if you're like me, I feel like I wouldn't have gotten killed. First thing I would have said, yeah, who delivers at midnight? Not even Amazon delivers at midnight. That's not going to happen. And then you need to set the flowers by my bedroom. I might have gone for that one. But you said read the card, I've seen too many movies. I would have read the card while looking at it to make sure I didn't get shot so I can maneuver. But I want to present a third option. The woman in the red dress, your mind, or option C, the devil. See, the devil knows exactly what you're looking for. He knows the right time, the right flavor. He knows the right combination of stresses in your life to know when to knock on that door. He knows when you're not feeling special. He knows when you're in the midnight hour in your loneliness. He knows when you're bored, even if you're married. Yeah, don't say anything on that one. He knows you need adrenaline. He knows you're addicted to secrecy and danger when it comes to your sexuality. He knows you. He knows who you are. He understands you. He's in your mind. He's creeping and he is roaming and he is ready for you. And he knows just your flavor. See, if your flavor is Idris Elba, he's not going to tempt you. Uh-oh, here we go. Here we go. All right. We are going backwards quickly. We're going backwards quickly. So if he knows unnamed person is your flavor, he's not going to tempt you with Omari Hardwick. See, if he knows your flavor is Beyonce, he's not going to tempt you with Serena Williams. So if he knows he's going to tempt you with just who you like at the right time. The exact opposite of your ex. Woo! The exact opposite. He had no muscle. Ooh, he had a lot of muscle. He knows. See, the devil only has primarily one weapon, and it's to lie. But he's a great liar. He knows to tell you the lies. See, the knock in the middle of the night, midnight, flowers in the bedroom, read the card. You knew that was stupid, but he knew what you need to come in. He told you just enough for you to say, well, maybe this is some new delivery service. Maybe this is from grandma. Maybe she's going on a date after she delivers the flowers. You start rationalizing because he knows exactly what you thirst for. So today's sermon is called Soul Thirst, How to Gain Control Over Your Sexuality. Soul Thirst, How to Gain Control Over Your Sexuality. I know what some of you are thinking. Of all the weeks to come to church, why you have to be talking about sexuality? But it's too late to leave now because I can see you. You must have a problem if you leave. I know it's going to have you to go to the bathroom. You're going to try and hold it right now, but that's okay. It says in John 10:10, the thief enters only to steal, kill, and destroy. The devil's here to destroy. He's here to kill. He's here to change your mind. Ephesians 6:12 says, we aren't fighting against human enemies, but against rulers, authorities, forces of cosmic darkness, and spiritual powers of evil in the heavens. But I think 1 Peter 5, verses 8 through 9 captures it best. Be clear-headed. Keep alert. Your accuser, the devil, is on the prowl like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. Resist him. Stand firm in the faith. Do so in the knowledge that your fellow believers are enduring the same suffering throughout the world. It's clear, Antioch family. We are at war. We're at war. You are in the fight of your life. But this war, Antioch, is within. This war is within your mind. This war is right in the center of everything that you need that is absolutely unhealthy, but you need it. I got that from Pastor Chaney. We are in a fight. Say fight. Fight. We are in a fight. Say fight. Fight. We are in a fight. Say fight. Fight. But we will not lose. We will not lose. See, God created sexuality as a good thing to be shared between husband and wife. You remember in the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve were enjoying one another. They had it all. But then there was this temptation, and after they sinned, what happened? After they sinned, they were no longer naked and unashamed. They were naked and ashamed and went to go hide. How can you hide from God? Right. I mean, you say that, but hold on. As I'm a psychologist, I have to break it down. Have you ever done something and you felt hypocritical because you did something, but you're supposed to be a saint and you didn't go to church? What do I look like going to church when I just got finished sinning last night? I just got in from the club at 5 o'clock, took a shower, came straight to church. I just sent that text. I just called my ex to rendezvous after church. What do I look like reading my Bible, going to discipleship groups, going to connect groups, knowing that I am a walking hypocrite? Ashamed, we hide, and that's where the devil wants you, because the devil is interested in one thing. He wants to steal your identity. He's an identity theft. He wants to steal your identity. Because, see, if your identity is tied up in your shame, in your guilt, and what you need that's not good for you, that's unpure, then you're going to hide from God because you don't want relationship, because in our minds we think that God is angry with us and we don't want to walk and be a hypocrite. How can I be a deacon or a deaconess or a small group leader on the praise team knowing what I just did last night? He wants to keep us away from God. It talks about this in 2 Corinthians 2:11. This is so that we won't be taken advantage of by Satan, because we are well aware of his schemes. Can I break the schemes down for you a little bit? All right, let's start with childhood sexual abuse. So your first introduction to sexuality is through perversion, secrecy, and privacy. So that's your first introduction, that sexuality is private and secret and something you're not supposed to talk about. Or if you do, something's wrong with you, or no one will believe you. Or let's get really deep. You say something and mom says she'll handle it, because if we tell on dad, there goes the paycheck. You grew up as a child in this environment. What do you learn about your worth? What do you learn about sexuality? You learn that you're not supposed to talk about it, and that it's secret, and it's something you don't have boundaries around. You just have to take it and be happy. But how dare you get in trouble in school and act out? How dare you become promiscuous? Number 2, exposure to pornography as a child. Whether you stumble upon it with your parents' magazines or some link or some video, whatever it is, your first introduction to sexuality is something that you do in shame and secrecy and privacy with no one looking. So now you have this partnership between sexuality and secrecy. Even when you get married, even when you get in a relationship, there's still this urge to go off and be private and secret outside of your relationship, because that's your first introduction. Ooh, y'all are silent, y'all. Worrying. Say it's tight, but it's right. It's so bad right now because of our smartphones, that 9 out of 10 males by the age of 18 will be exposed to pornography. 6 out of 10 girls exposed to pornography before 18 years old. And here's how it happens. You're on YouTube, you look at a video, you're looking at Google, it learns you. You tap on one video, it sends you a related video or a suggested video, and you look at it once, it's singed into your mind, and then you go back not thinking about it, and what's on there? Woo, we know what kind of videos you like. Look at this one. And you can lose yourself because it's right there for you. What about emasculation of a male? So you're emasculated as a male, as a child. You feel that way. So you feel the way to gain value. The devil tells you to go and see how many female conquests you can have, how many times you can score, how many times you can validate your manhood by how many women you can lie and deceive and lay with. 4, promiscuity. You used to be promiscuous, but when you let it go, you take a vow of celibacy, the devil still reminds you the same old person. Who you kidding, man? We're going to go out, man. What you sitting down for? Come on, man. You drinking juice, man? You better put some gin in there and come get busy. Come on. We know who you are. Oh, so you changed, huh? Oh, you changed, girl? Oh, for real? We'll see. Midnight. I'm going to call you. We're going to see. I'm going to wait till you get no text, no DM messages, no Facebook message. You just all alone, your phone. It was on 100% battery at 9. It's on 100% battery at 10. No text messages. None. I'm going to come get you. I am going to come get you because I know what you need, and I know how you feel whole. I know how to make you feel good. Then number 5, the variety lie. Even if you're in a marriage, the devil will tell you that you can have You can have a husband and variety. You can have a wife and variety. You can have a boyfriend, a girlfriend, or a bae, and a side bae, and a side bae, and a friend with benefits. You can have it all. You can have it all. The devil knows exactly what to say, and this is how he's getting inside of our minds and our relationships and contaminating us and continuing to cycle and cycle until we are out of control. Because we get to this point to where we're okay, but then we thirst for more. We want more. How many of you ever watch Netflix and you promise on everything you own, I am not going to watch the next edition. I am not going to watch it. I am not going to watch this next edition of Last Chance U. I love that show. I'm not going to watch it. I'm going to do my work. And then it just, I'm going to watch a little bit. 4 hours later, you're like, come on, man. Why you had to go off? You're in the bed, didn't do anything, didn't brush your teeth, didn't shower. We thirst for more. We get some, but then we thirst for more. It says in Psalm 106, verses 13 through 15. I'm going to condense it. But how quickly, remember how quickly they forgot what God had done. They wouldn't wait for his advice. The Israelites were traveling, going to the promised land. They were overcome with craving in the desert, and they tested God in the wastelands. God gave them what they asked for because they wanted meat. He sent food to satisfy their appetites, but he gave them a leanness. And that leanness means that no matter how much you eat, it will not satisfy you. No matter how much you eat, you want more. No matter how many times you click that video, you want more. No matter how many times you say you want variety, this is one time. Let me do it again and again and again and again. And this is how really good people start doing really bad things. This is how we have extramarital affairs, porn and sex addiction, sexual perpetrators, being addicted to the adult entertainment business, the control of it all. I'm in control of this now. You don't control me, I control you. Fantasies where you intentionally position yourself to be degraded because that's how it was linked and that's how your sexuality was unhealthily linked. It's tight, but it's right. Y'all didn't want that one. The danger is high. He knows you like high danger situations, so he puts you in it so that you can lose it all, but you're attracted to the danger knowing that you can lose it all. Wife, kids, reputation, job. The devil is right there roaming because it's all been attached. Let's go deeper because this is a chemical cocktail to sexuality. Because I want you to understand how this happens so that you don't judge. All right, so in the Bible, when they talk about sex, they talk about to know someone. That's how it's written. He lay with her and he knew her. Or they got to know one another. That's how they refer to sexuality. But what happens is, when we're in a high adrenaline state, it produces a chemical called norepinephrine. And guess what norepinephrine does? It forms and maintains memory. Forms and maintains memory. So these images, so if you've ever been in a traumatic event, or if you're an athlete, you've ever been in the zone, people will tell you what they can smell, what they can hear, they can see time slow down. That's norepinephrine in your body, singeing these memories, these images in your mind. Well, let's combine that with the love-making hormone called oxytocin, which is the cuddling hormone, which binds you to the person right in front of your eyes. So you're binded to them. So here, chemically, you are binded to what is in front of your eyes. So when you see it, whether that's your internet screen, whether that's someone else, whether that is a prostitute, whether that is your wife or your husband, that's who you're bound by. And human beings are the only species that make love face to face. Let's just keep moving. Okay, face to face. Because God intended for you to have a bonding to your wife, to cleave to your husband and to your wife. It's the physiological cocktail. But what happens when that soul tie is not to your husband or to your wife? What happens when that soul tie is to an ex or something that is unhealthy for you? And that's why we can't break these soul ties. That's why when you want to do right, you want to move forward, I want to get it right, I can't get Tyrone out of my mind. I can't get Stacy out of my mind. I can't get Luke Cage's girlfriend out of my mind. That was a joke. My wife, hey, baby, that was a joke. That was a joke. Can't get her out your mind because you want to move right, but then you see the battlefield. The devil's pounding. He's fighting. He knows exactly where to get you at the right time. That's how it happens. That's how we get psychologically and physiologically addicted to unhealthy sexuality, and we have to fight. Say fight. All right. So now that I've depressed you, my job as a psychologist is to fix you. This would be the point in the session where I'd ask you to make a payment if you really want to get well. But I'm not going to do that for you. I'm not going to get kicked out your house for doing that. But if there's a special envelope, I'm just joking, all right? All right, let's dive in. All right. The first thing we have to ask when you come in is, do you really want to get well? How many of you have a friend where they complain, they tell you they're going to leave this person, and you know right to get on the phone, they're not going to change. They're going to go right back and do what they would do. They might be on the phone with you right now, texting that other person, girl, I'm going to leave him, I ain't worried about him. Yeah, I'll be there in 2 minutes. You know. So we have to ask yourself, do you really want to get well? Do you really want to get well? You say that, but then there's this thing called double-mindedness. It says in James 1, verses 6 through 8, whoever asks shouldn't hesitate. They should ask in faith without doubting. Whoever doubts is like the surf of the sea, tossed and turned by the wind. People like that should never imagine that they will receive anything from the Lord. They are double-minded, unstable in all their ways. Let me break that down. So you have a double-minded mentality. So you know what? I love my wife. She's the apple of my eye, but she has been stressing me. We have this newborn. How dare she spend 3 hours in the baby's room breastfeeding, knowing that I'm over here working hard and stressed out. I love my wife, but I deserve to feel good. I deserve to feel alive. I deserve to decrease my stress because that's how I learned to decrease my stress when I was a youth. That's how I learned, and so that habit has been built, and I have this double-minded mentality. I want to be a great person, but I deserve to feel good. I deserve to feel good. You can have it right now. Or you can be single and say, I was cool with being celibate and abstinent when I was a teenager, but I'm 43. I'm 43 years old. I'm 43. Or I used to be married, and I got used to certain things, and it's been 6 days. It's been six months. And you have this double-minded mentality that I deserve to feel good. I work hard. I deserve to feel good. And we have that double-mindedness, and it keeps us from getting the blessings. It keeps us from winning the fight, because how are you going to win a fight you really don't want to fight in the first place? Number 2, what are you thirsty for? What is your mind and soul thirsty for? What unmet need has happened in your past that you're still looking for validation in a relationship? You're still searching for mom. You're still searching for dad to say, you're the apple of my eye. You're still searching to feel special. What is it? If we remember in John 4, the woman at the well came because she was thirsty. How many of you know she had 5 marriages and 5 divorces? How do you think she felt? She felt rejected. We all want to be wanted. We all want to be chosen. We all want to be honored. We all want to be esteemed. We all want to be the one. That's my baby right there. That's my husband. That's my woman. That's my babe. That's my rock. Just you, no one else. We all want to feel special. And so when we don't have that, we start looking for it in other places. But in John 4, verses 13 through 14, Jesus gives the resolution and talks about the problem. Jesus answered, everyone who drinks this water will be thirsty again. But whomever drinks of the water I give will never be thirsty again. The water that I give will become in those who drink it a spring of water that bubbles up into eternal life. See, we can look for it in the unhealthy way, but it's still never going to quench your thirst. You'll find yourself addicted to doing something that doesn't work, and because it only works for a little while, you have to go back and do it again. It's kind of like a credit card. You get high, woo, credit card. Then the bill comes. You have to go, credit card makes yourself feel better. It keeps coming and coming and roaming. It's relentless because it knows who you are. So what do we do about it? 1, we have to have marital and relational intimacy. Say intimacy. Into me I see. Intimacy. The whole goal of relationships and marriage is to connect and to know one another. You have to be the psychological partner in someone's car to be able to ride around their world that day and they tell you what's going on. That's what we signed up for. Every day I need you to be in my mind and make me feel important. Yes, I want you to tell me. I want to tell you about the traffic on the 405. I want to tell you about it. I want to tell you about the Falcons losing the Super Bowl and how it still depresses me to this day. I want to tell you about what that supervisor said to me and how he disrespected me and how I'm going to handle that tomorrow. I want you to listen to me. Don't judge me. Don't tell me take anger management classes. Don't tell me that. Tell me you don't need to light them up then. You need, let me talk crazy and you be with me in the car. I know I'm talking crazy, but just let me talk crazy for a while. Can I? I mean, can I have one fan? Just one fan. Yeah, one fan. That's all right. You had to fight sometimes. We have to connect because when we don't, that's how we open up the window in our marriages and our relationship. And we come in, someone else is in our house, and then we realize that a window and a house are not the same, but only after you've partaken. Number 2, you have to avoid loneliness and disconnection. Did you know that loneliness has the same negative impact on our health as obesity and smoking? It takes 10 to 12 years off of your life. Because if you're not designed to be lonely, if you're not designed to be alone, some of you are okay. Some of you are alone, but you're not lonely. There's a difference. There's a difference. But some of you are alone and lonely. See, I'm not equipped to be alone. I love my wife with everything I love. But if she passes before me, I'm going to be on Facebook like, okay. That's just who I am. You can say whatever you can judge me if you want to. I am built and equipped to be in a relationship. That's who I am. And if you have the same spirit and you're not in one, you're stressed. And when we're stressed, there's a cortisol dump in your body. And that cortisol is the death hormone. That stress hormone kills you. It's killing your heart. It's taking years off of your life because you really want to be in a relationship, but you're not, and you feel like you can't do anything about it. What you have to do is make sure that you have time with your friends. You have to be part of the connect groups. You have to come to church, and you have to be connected because you can hear this word right now, get in your car, and be right back where you started. It says in Hebrews 10, 24 and 25, and let us consider each other carefully for the purpose of sparking love and good deeds. Don't stop meeting together with other believers, which some have gotten in the habit of doing. Instead, encourage one another, especially as you see the day drawing near. You need to pick up the phone and say, I need some help. I mean, your Instagram is dry. Your text message is not going off. You haven't been on a date in years. You feel invisible. Meanwhile, you say everyone getting married, that's nice. And your baby sister, 12 years younger than you, is getting married. And you're ready. You have to meet with other people because we need to be connected. That's why the disciples were linked together. That's why. The only one I know that was cool being alone was the Apostle Paul. And that's why he got left by John Mark. He said, I'm out of here, man. I'm married. I don't know about you. Walking around for 10 years, never seeing your wife. I'm out. Probably why you had that thorn, but that's a whole nother sermon. So what we have to do, we have to move forward and celebrate relationship and live in relationship with one another. We are pack animals. And when we're alone, the devil picks you off. Loneliness is the weakness. If I can get you alone, I can attack you. So the question I have for you, Antioch, is are you willing to die to self? Are you willing to die to self? Are you willing to admit that you can't beat this? Whatever your weakness is, you can't beat it. No matter what you try, no matter how many positive affirmations, no matter how many times you pray about it, put your anointing oil, you can't beat it alone, and you need help, and you have to give it to God. There's no individual power. You are not God. God is in you, but you are not God, and we need to submit and say, I'm weak. Help me. It says in 2 Corinthians 12 and 9, he said to me, my grace is sufficient because power is made perfect in what? and weakness. So I'll gladly spend my time bragging about my weaknesses so that Christ's power can rest on me. Call my boy, come get me. Stop me from watching Luke Cage. Stop me. Stop me. I love her. Stop it. Come get me. So you have to tell yourself, one, you don't need sex before marriage. You don't need sex. Sex becomes life-taking versus life-giving. You can do it if you want to, but then you find yourself cycling and needing sexuality. You'll need it. You'll feel like you need it, and you'll never be fulfilled. It never works. So then you have to get more to help you cope with not feeling fulfilled, hoping that one day it'll work, and it'll never work. It'll put you in a cycle, and you won't even want to commit to a relationship because you don't believe they exist. 2, we have to stop telling. This is men, this is where I'm going to lose you. We have to stop telling women to give herself physically to a man anytime he wants it. That is not real. That is not scripture. That's just self-gratification. That's just self-gratification because you're supposed to have this dance. You're supposed to romance. You're supposed to talk. You're supposed to have intimacy. My wife says, sexuality starts in the morning with a note or a text message. That's why I have it in my phone at 8 o'clock, send a note or a text message. Yeah, I start the dance early, boy. So I don't forget. I have a double alarm if I don't forget. We have to connect. We have to bond. We have to be there for one another. You have to want to. A woman that's being well taken care of is getting a bath run, that's getting flowers. I am getting myself in trouble at home. But a woman that has those things and you're taking care of her and you're nurturing her, you're listening to her feelings without interrupting, talking about your day. I'm talking about my day. You're talking about your day. She wants to submit. Amen. But when you make her satisfy you, that's not submission. That's bondage. And we have to get out of bondage. It's a dance. We have to stop also making women feel responsible for their man's infidelity. That's on us. Or that's on you. Now, there may be some complications. There may be some complications. There may be some contributing factors. However, you have to make sure that you take responsibility for what's happened so that you can work through it as a unit. You said you said for better or for worse. So if you did worse, you need to stand in the doghouse until it's time to get out to move forward. 1 Corinthians 7:5 says, don't refuse to meet others' needs unless you both, I said both, agree for a short period of time to devote yourselves in prayer. This is the word, not my word. Then come back together again, so Satan might not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. He's telling you, be compassionate, be kind. Ephesians 4:32 says, be kind, compassionate, forgiving to each other in the same way God forgave you in Christ. And the last thing, we have to be accountable. We have to admit in our weakness we can't do this alone. We need one another. We need one another. We have to be accountable. The disciples had each other's backs. Do you have your brother's back? Do you have your sister's back? Those of you that operate in the prophetic spirit, when you feel someone's not right, do you reach out to them or do you talk yourself out of it? It's not the right time. Do you begin to have low Christian prophetic self-esteem and say, nah, this is not the right time to say, I know I just graduated from school of the word, but my prophetic skills might not be right. That might be about someone else. Do you help your neighbor? Do you say, I got you? Do you say, call me when you get weak, I'll be there for you? The devil will kill you if you are alone. Why would we allow our brothers and sisters in Christ to be alone, to get picked off, knowing that we're all dealing with internal struggles? We know that the devil is forever roaming, looking for an opportunity, waiting for that window to pop up. Ecclesiastes 4:9-12 talks about it best. 2 are better than 1 because they have good return for their hard work. If either should fall, one can pick the other up. But how miserable are those who fall and don't have a companion to help them up. Also, if 2 lie down together, they can stay warm. But how can anyone stay warm alone? Also, one can be overpowered, but two can put up resistance. A 3-ply cord doesn't easily snap. When we are together, Antioch family, we can win. When we're connected, that's the whole point of the connect groups. I know you have them, but you should be in one. Otherwise, you're saying, I'm good. I'm good. The whole point is to connect. When Paul established churches, what did he do? He prophesied the gospel, he grouped them together, and then he instructed them intensely. He grouped them together, and then he instructed them intensely. If it wasn't part of the order, he would have instructed them intensely by themselves, but he didn't do it because they would have gotten plucked off one by one. How many of you ever felt like, I'm good, I'm riding high, I'm Mr. Christian, I'm Mrs. Christian? Tell me a Bible verse. I'm ready. And 3 days later, you right back where you used to be. Right back. You're deacon of the church. You could be a minister. No one's exempt. You have to make sure you take care of yourself. So I want to tell you, man, it's okay to go to counseling. I said it's okay to go to counseling. I said it's okay to go to counseling. Why would you fight this battle alone? Why would you fight this battle alone so that you can destroy? But see, it's not what you talk about that kills you. It's not what you talk about that makes you manly. It's what you can't talk about that makes you unmanly. Because when you don't talk about it, you hurt your wife, you hurt your kids, you hurt your families. But we think that we're supposed to suck it up, wear this mask, be strong. Meanwhile, we are dying within, and everyone that's associated is dying as well. Because a man that needs help that doesn't get it is a stressor to everyone. Listen, be doers of the word. Your identity is in Christ. You can regain it, sustain it. John 10:10 says the thief enters only to steal, kill, and destroy. But God says, I came so that you could have life. Antioch, I'm here to tell you that the war was within. You're in the fight of your life. Whatever you've done is forgiven. But we have to stay diligent. We have to stay connected. We are a family. This is not just an assembly of individuals. We are here for our neighbors, and we have to connect to stand in the gap. Even when you're strong, your neighbor is weak, and they need you. There's someone here right now that's strong. You're strong in this. You understand this. You have the recipe for how to defeat this, and there's your brother or sister in the struggle, and you are against God's will by not sharing that and stepping up because you're being too earthly humble. God doesn't care about your inadequacies. He cares that you say, in my weakness, I'm going to do this in my weakness. God's going to stand in for me, and I'm going to save someone. I'm going to help someone. So Antioch, the fight, we have to fight the fight. But know that you have the champion coach on your side. Know that he's already forgiven you and that he's already prophesied and already waiting on you at the finish line. You are in the fight of your life, but you will win. God bless.
Amen. Come on, give it up for Dr. Alduan Tartt. Just be seated for a moment. We want to do some question and answer, if that's okay. A little discussion. You don't have to pay the $300 an hour. We got you covered. All right. So make sure that we take advantage of this time together. You guys grab this. All right. Thank you so much. All right. So Dr. Tartt's covered so many areas, and part of the reason that we enjoyed having him because he covered not only theology, spirituality, but also physiology, psychology. And so whatever the question, and just want you to feel comfortable with it. Normally we'll throw this up on the screen, but we want to keep it live. And for some of you, it's not the question for you, all right? It may be the question for your niece, your nephew, your cousin, Pookie and them, whatever it is, all right? So feel free. We won't make the assumption that the question's for you, but if there's a question that you have for Dr. Tartt, we have people in the aisles, I believe, with microphones. And so just if you throw your hand up really quickly and ask the question, then we'll make sure we answer it. Just don't preach. Is that all right? Deal? All right. All right. Just let me see your hands if you have a question. All right, over on this side. Yes, sir.
Hey, brother, how you doing?
Bless.
Birmingham, Alabama.
All right, represent.
This is my first time here at this church. I was invited by a personal friend of mine. But I enjoyed your lecture. But the question comes to play is, for men of color, particularly, I can't speak for any other particular man, but I can speak about men of color. Our psychological aspects of what we've been taught in this country defines us to a certain point. And you mentioned something earlier about not being able to articulate it to our spouse, to our families, because our situations as men of color is completely different than a lot of people in our society. How do we address that being Christian men or trying to live in the Christian faith? How will we address that?
Before he answers that, I want to specify a little bit. Are you speaking of sex and sexuality?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
So your question is common. There are a lot of men that were never taught intimacy. It did not exist in their house. It's not just men, but women as well. Talk about my feelings. I'm mad. That's my one emotion. No, we have two. I'm mad and I'm disrespected. Yeah, I feel mad and disrespected. What we have to learn and get is emotion coaching to be able to learn how to communicate our emotions. I feel disappointed. I feel powerless. I feel helpless. I feel frustrated. I feel loved. I feel cared about. I feel validated. I feel invalidated. I feel invisible. When we talk the love language, the feeling languages, that's how we connect with our spouses. When we start talking about conflict resolution, couples don't change. Couples don't change because of what they think. I think we should eat out. I think we should save money. That argument's not going to go anywhere. It's circular. It's like Democrats and Republicans. The more you talk about Democrat, the more Republican you become. The more Trump talks, the more Democratic I become. That's what happens. I wasn't supposed to say that? I'm from Georgia. We speak freely, so. Yeah. Now watch my mortgage. Have some problems. But anyway. So when we start speaking about, I do care how you feel. So I didn't mean to make you feel invisible. I didn't make you feel unloved and uncared about when I came home and watched SportsCenter without kissing you. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't want you to feel invisible when you were talking about work and I just kept doing things for the kids. When we communicate feelings, that's what binds us. It's the heart. So when we learn as men, as black men, how to communicate emotions, we're going to be better lovers, better fathers, better husbands, and better leaders.
Excellent. And as he's already shared earlier, I think, again, men, we are like the band on the Titanic. As it's sinking, we're continuing to play, even as our toes are hitting the iceberg. And I think our community has really got to be open to professional help. It's one thing to come and have your pastor pray for you and use the tools in their arsenal. But I think, again, psychology, or going to a Christian psychologist or a psychiatrist, that's not a curse word. We've got to change that narrative as well in our community. Yeah.
Hello. I work with the youth here at the church, and what advice could you give parents, youth leaders, concerning meeting teens where they are and their sexuality? Because sometimes we see it from our perspective, and jumping in there can be confusing on both ends. So from a psychologist's perspective, what can you give us to kind of meet them where they are and help them?
All right. Number one, we have to be diligent with their smartphones. Think about when you're in class and the teacher went out of the classroom. What do? We acted up. Our smartphones are unsupervised. Our kids' smartphones are unsupervised, and they're getting all these messages coming to one another. I caught my daughter. You know how when they're quiet. I thought it was real quiet. And so my daughter's kind of predictable. I said she's either up there making slime. She's into those slime videos. She's either making slime on those countertops, okay? Or she's doing something she's not supposed to do. And I walked in. I said, let me see what you're watching. And she was watching The Bachelor. There's a black woman on there.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about, I had to sit down with her and listen, and I had to think about what that meant to her. So the way to get a man is, of course, the black man gonna lose. I'm just gonna put it out there, okay? All right. Love is blind, but he always gonna lose. And then you kiss a bunch of guys, you know, and then you marry them in 2 weeks or 5, 6 episodes. That's how you get, and the way to get the guys interested in you is to be sexualized. That's what she's learning as a kid. So we had to unpack that. So we have to be diligent in giving them the freedom, but also making sure that we're putting those apps on, we're watching what they're watching. All right? That we're blocking certain porn sites because there's no blocks on there right now. They can assess it the same way you can. All right? And then we also have to sit down and listen. It's not rocket science. Kids want to be heard. We're so quick to give advice, but our kids are steadily telling us the problem. We're not listening. Mom and Dad, but you never listen. Can I get 3 words out? If we listen to them long enough to get them, then we have relationship. When we don't get them, we can't turn them and steer them in a particular direction. Because the only time we talk to them is when we're giving them a directive or we're punishing them. So we have to make sure that we're giving them healthy images. For those of you that are in the media, you know, we're giving them healthy images of what we want them to see. And then lastly, be mindful of what they see between you and your spouse. I have kids that just don't want to get married right now. They say, if that's how it looks, count me out. I'm good, if that's what it means. So we have to make sure that we set, you know, godly examples. Let's hold it. Godly examples for our youth.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I was very helped by the sermon. And you mentioned 43-year-old. Well, I'm going to be 41. I'd like to know what encouragement you have for single mothers. And, you know, we need outlets. And you talk about community. And so the Lord led me to, I've been in leadership with single mom groups before. And so I'm going to start one in my house. Because most of my friends are married. You talk about community, and everyone's talking about their marriage problems. And my man this is like, well, we don't have a man. We have our child, which is fine. You know, that's our devotion and everything. But we need an outlet, encouragement as well.
That's a good. I'm smiling because I love answering that question. Thank you, Jesus. Yes, okay. All right, this is gonna be controversial. All right, but I have to tell you the real. Right? It's tight, but it's right. A lot of times, women don't have an issue with anything going on with them. Am I too tall, too skinny, too dark, too light, too old? They want me for a kid? No. What I see most of all is an access problem. Maybe Jesus doesn't like that answer. Let me edit. But access. So you have to, your network is your net worth, right? So we have to make sure that you are networking. How many times do you have an opportunity for a male to see you? To see, you have to be strategic. So this is where I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to get in trouble. All right, so
that's what Myesha Chaney did. So just by the way. Go ahead
and tell it.
By the way,
yeah.
So you're in the right place, man.
Tell it. You have to be strategic. My wife, you know, I was joking about getting remarried. My wife wouldn't wait a month. I mean, as soon as she mourned, as soon as she was ready, she'd have a man. Okay? My wife is in sales. She's around doctors all day. She knows how to flirt. She has access to men, and she knows it's about, just like marketing, the number of people that see you, all right, the chances you have to put yourself in an environment. So where was Ruth?
Yeah.
Positioned at Boaz's feet. Now, I didn't tell y'all. I didn't say that. That was just, all right, let's be historical. Let's keep us in the culture. Keep us in the culture. So what he's saying is that she was well positioned. You have to ask yourself, am I positioned to even have a conversation with men? Sometimes you have to be, you know, the volunteer for men's ministry. You know, right? I'm being real. Y'all lying. Sometimes you have to go to a business conference. Sometimes you have to go to a business conference. I'm about that business. A lot of businessmen. So you have to make sure that you are out and you are socializing. We start talking about Hebrews 10, 24 and 25. It says, let us not neglect one another in meeting and encouraging one another. There are women, here's a statistic. Women that get divorced remarry faster than women who've never been married. They know we need them. And they also know where we hang out. They have skills. So you have to make sure that you call that girlfriend. She never. Here's the thing, last thing. Have you ever been to a club way back in the day before you got saved? You ever been to a club? And you're a man and you scoping. You know, men, how do you decide who to dance with? The woman that's dancing to the song, right? She's like, oh, it's my song. And so he selects her because she looks like she's going to say yes. Meanwhile, you're looking cute. And we don't come up to you because you look like you're going to say no. And I'm going to let y'all be petty. My girlfriend didn't even look like me. I'm cuter. I'm better. How she get? Because she likes to dance. So you have to be open. You have to be approachable. And you have to have access. And so.
That's good, man.
That's why I advocate. And I do have stock, so I'm going to let you know. That's why I advocate for Match.com. That's why yes, I do. I do. Because here's what it does. People talk about the internet. We're not going to get into it, but God is in the internet too.
Yeah.
If you need a job, you go to LinkedIn. Don't act. Go door to door. Fine. Go pound the pavement door to door. Let me know how that works when it comes to your job. But when it comes to dating, we don't like those websites for some reason when it's matching you on someone that's like-minded based on the criteria that you say.
Yeah.
You can come to church and come home and have 40 guys in your box. So you have to look at ways that fit your comfort zone, so that you can be more accessible to men. You have an access problem. If we sent you back to college or to high school or a job where you're around a lot of men, you'd have no problems. The problem is access. Wow. Sorry about that.
That's good. The church said amen. No, this is good stuff, right? Good stuff. All right, couple more, and then we're going to go for the next service.
Hi.
Oh, hey. Hey.
Hi. I'm Flo Warren, and I am 83 and a half years old. Okay? Now, what do you do for my situation?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tell her, Doc.
Oh, my. Oh, my. I'm going to give you an answer. I'm going to give you an answer. Oh, my. All right. Oh, my. All right, two things. Because as a psychologist, you have to answer all questions. One, there was a young man. You're going to have to be open to dating younger men. Be open to that. Because you still seem like you have a lot of spontaneity, a lot of energy, a lot of passion, a lot of good word in you, a lot of encouragement. Oh, pray for me. So, seriously, so y'all are laughing. That didn't come out right. So, y'all are laughing, but men, we don't age as well. And so you can date a younger man that can he still wants to go out to the movies. He still wants to go on vacations. He can still get on a plane without an oxygen thing. He can still travel. So you're going to be open to, and then number two, know that when someone, know that they're going to be, and I'm going to share this about my grandfather, know that they're going to be men that become widows. And think about being married for so many years, how hard it is to be a widow after so many years of marriage. So know that when men have to bury their wives, that they're going to be looking for you. My grandfather, my grandma passed, and the next day the neighbor was over. making pies, fixing him 3 square meals a day. Her husband had passed 10 years prior. And my aunt got mad. Oh, she can't even wait till grandma in the ground. And I said, you gonna fix them 3 square meals? They right next door to each other. They right next door. What you tripping for? So you have to be open. You have to be open to all opportunities. You know, God does not operate on age. So there are blessings to be found. And invite me to the wedding. I'll be here.
All right. Folks, give it up for Dr. Alduan Tartt.